Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I'll be going over the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console. As always, chapters to each topic are listed down below. First up, I want to bring attention to a recent discovery from Alpatron over on the Builds Discord regarding the Borg Duty Officers 26 of 47 and 31 of 47. Both 26 and 31 see very heavy use on high performance DPS builds for the 50% Cat 1 damage buff they provide for damage over time effects. Pretty much every high-end Plasma build is running 26, and every high-end EPG build uses 31. The discovery from Elpatron, which has now been confirmed by Sizer, myself, and a few others, is that these two duty officers are providing a damage buff to everything on your build when active, not just damage over time effects. This is clearly an unintended effect, but given the current state of the game and what's going on with the development team, it is very unlikely to be fixed anytime soon. Similar bugs like the Discovery Reputation's wide-angle dual beambank providing a damage buff to everything were reported at the start of 2023 and are still an issue nearly 2 years later. As such, the two Borg duty officers that have this effect, 26 and 31 of 47, will have increased value moving forward so long as this bug persists. The engineering variant, 21 of 47, does not appear to have this issue. As for the DPS leaderboards, 26 and 31 are still going to be tolerated. You can still use them for any records. It isn't feasible for us to police them, and right now, especially given that Disco dual beam bank issue still hasn't been resolved, we just have very low confidence that the issue displayed here will be resolved anytime soon. Both of these duty officers were already highly desired, and I do still recommend them for the builds that benefit from their intended effect, but I would refrain from running out and buying them for the unintended effect. Especially with these things now approaching ship prices, you don't want to burn that type of money on something that might be randomly fixed in the future. I'm just mentioning this all as a bit of transparency, and because you're probably going to see people hyping up this duty officer a bit moving forward, so just be aware that it is bugged right now. No guarantee that it'll ever actually be fixed, but just want you guys to be informed. Next up, for all platforms, there is currently a Red Alert event active. If you're on PC, there is no start or end date listed at all for it. But according to the blog, it started up today and is running up through November 14th. So this is a 1 week long Red Alert event, meaning you can get an ultimate tech upgrade and a spec point from it. Now, for those of you that just made Gamma Recruit characters, I believe the Red Alerts count for the TFO task that they have. So if that is the case, someone mention that in the comments below, then I would say to get out there and spam Borg and Tholian red alerts. And alongside this, there's also a bonus mark event running. So if you're working on a new Gamma character, in addition to spamming the red alerts there to get your TFO progress done, you can get some extra marks, get your reputations knocked out a bit easier. Next up, for those of us on PC, there's a 35% bundle sale live right now up through November 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're looking to pick up a bundle and you already have the Zen, then this is a decent sale to take advantage of. But if you do not have Zen right now, I would recommend holding off. We're not that far out from Black Friday, where there will be a Zen sale live and probably this exact same bundle sale. So if you already have the Zen, then go ahead and pick up what you want now. If you don't, I would just say to hold off. And worst case, if there isn't another bundle sale at Black Friday, there probably will be another near the end of December. If you'd like to learn more about what to expect this Black Friday, check out my video from earlier this week. Next up, for PC players that purchased the second chance buyout for the Dimensional Typhoon event, you did not get lithium with that, and they are aware of it and should have that fixed soon. Next up, for those of you over on console, the Dimensional Typhoon event is finally showing up over there next week on November 12th, and it will be running up through December 11th. This event is running for 30 days, but it will require 20 days worth of participation if you want to get the rewards for free. So we'll go over the rewards here in a moment, but for the daily progress, the blog does have some incorrect information. So the way that this event works is you can get 2 progress points a day. And if you do any of the 3 TFO options, just doing one of those a day would get you 2 points. And if you do the patrols, you'd have to do 2 patrols to get your daily progress. So you actually need 40 total progress points, not 20, in order to get this completed. You earn 2 a day. Now, the easiest option that you have here is Resistance of Starbase 1. That is the simplest option, and I highly recommend, once you've tried out the new stuff, that you just stick to Resistance to Starbase 1. That is the best option to get your daily progress done. The Royal Flush TFO, the new one, it is fun to do with a coordinated group, but in a pug environment with people that don't know what's going on in that TFO, it can be a bit frustrating. The two new patrols are fine, but I think you'll find the simple route of going Resistance to Starbase 1 is just really hard to beat. And there is a buyout available for this. It has a base cost of 6,000 Zen or $60. And for each point of progress you have, you're going to be reducing that buyout cost by 150 Zen or $1.50. And reward wise, you're going to be getting the Tier 6 Typhoon Temporal Battlecruiser from this, which I have covered in a few different videos. It is a really, really good ship, especially for an event ship. It is basically better than the Kirk Temporal Battlecruiser, which is a promo ship from a couple years ago. So really, really good to have. The accessories on it are not for everyone. The trait from it is just absolute garbage. But the console from it is going to be fine for some EPG builds. But the ship itself, again, that is just truly a great ship. And if you're looking for some builds for it, I do have a video going over a variety of energy weapon builds for it. And the other big reward here is a set of 8 pulse phaser weapon packs. These are just a one-time claim, so they're not reclaimable. They are account bound though, so you can move the weapon packs and the weapons themselves between your characters through the account bank. And you have 6 different options for what you can get from each box: a beam array, dual beam bank, cannon, dual heavy cannon, or a turret. So each box can be something different if you want. As you'll see here, when I open, I can pick a dual heavy cannon, and that just consumed the one box. So if you want to do a mix, you can go ahead and do that. Like I said, they are account bound, and I would recommend, as with any weapon packs, that you open them on a low level character. When you open weapon packs on a low level character and get them at like a Mark II or Mark IV, they're much cheaper to try and upgrade up to a higher rarity, which I've covered in prior videos. So that is what I've done with mine, and what I'd recommend you do with yours. And again, the weapons and the weapon packs themselves can be moved between characters through the account bank, even once you've fully upgraded them. And Console has a blog going over the new TFO and the 2 new patrols you're getting with the Dimensional Typhoon event. The Royal Flush TFO is going to be limited to just normal difficulty for the duration of the event. Afterwards, the advanced and elite versions will become available. On PC, the elite version of this has been very frustrating for people that do random elites, because you need people in there that have a decent understanding of what the tasks are in there. And in the random system, that's just not a very good experience. Now for the patrols, they're both fine, but time-wise for doing the event, again, it just ends up being better to do resistance each day. Next up, for those of you on console, the Nova 1 has been announced. It will be added to the Infinity Lockbox next week alongside the Dimensional Typhoon event. I do have content going over the Nova 1, which I'll have linked down below, and Martin has a video showing it off visually if you're wanting to see what it looks like from other angles. The Nova 1 ended up being a bit of a disappointing ship. It didn't really bring anything new to the table for pilot ships, and the accessories on it were pretty mediocre. The only thing of note is that the console has a passive that, when you're at a high throttle, can give you a ton of shield regen, but the actual clicky from the console is a bit of a troll ability. I heard of people causing Wolf 359 to fail because of using this effect in that TFO. The experimental weapon from it is like one of the worst I've seen in the entire game. It has a 15-second recharge time. Let me show you that. So it just is insanely slow. The damage from it was very low because of that in the testing that I did. And the trait from this has a 30-second lockout, which is not mentioned at all on the tooltip or anywhere when you're looking at the trait. So overall, aside from the passive on that console, it just really did not bring much to the table. But the good thing is that alongside this, you're going to have a key and Lobi sale pop up on console. So if you've been wanting to pick up any Lobi stuff or pick up some keys, that'll be a good time to do so. But for the Nova 1, as I've talked about with my prior coverage of it, it is not a ship that I personally recommend. And lastly, a couple notes for PC, well, and console for the first one. I don't know when the lifetime sale is going to start. I expected it to have started on the 7th, and it just isn't here, so I don't know if it's going to happen maybe later on the 8th or if it'll happen next week. They've done a lifetime sale the past couple of years in November, so I still expect one to happen. And for PC, we should be seeing the final part of the event campaign, which is probably going to be a feast event, announced in the next couple of days. I would expect that to start up as soon as the Red Alert event ends. And that's going to be it for today. As always, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. See you guys around.